It was the second week of March. I stood in my hallway with groceries. My key failed 3 times. The lock clicked like it hated me. My name is Amanda Foster. I'm 24, and I'm the responsible daughter. I called my mom, shaking. She laughed softly. "We let Emily move in," she said. "She's divorcing. You're young. Emily is my older sister. She once swore I'd never afford a place." I stared at my door, airless. I didn't yell. I opened my purse and felt my lease folder. Then I turned around and walked into the police station. Before we go on, where are you watching from, and what's around you? Echoes of Life is here with you tonight. I work as a dental hygienist in a busy downtown office. My days smell like mint paste and disinfectant. I smile all day, then count tips and overtime hours. 3 months ago, I found this apartment by accident. The rent was low because the place was ruined. Peeling wallpaper, a broken bathroom fan, a kitchen light that flickered like a warning. I signed the lease anyway. It was my first place that was truly mine. Not a couch, not a childhood room with rules. Every weekend, I rebuilt it line by line. I scraped wallpaper until my wrists burned. I painted until my hair smelled like primer. I hauled trash bags down 4 flights of stairs. The elevator was always out of service. I tracked every purchase in my notes app. Caulk, screws, paint rollers, outlet covers. Receipts went into a shoebox under my bed. Some nights, my hands cramped from holding tools. I still showed up Monday with scrubs and a smile. Mom called it a cute starter project. Emily called it a condemned building. She toured once, wrinkling her nose at my paint cans. She said I would never afford anything decent. At Christmas, she told everyone I was wasting money. I kept working anyway. I learned pipes from videos at midnight. I replaced fixtures with shaking hands and a headlamp. I bought a secondhand coffee table and refinished it myself. When the wood finally shone, I felt proud and quiet. When I visited my childhood friend Ashley in Denver, I asked one favor. "Water my plants," I told my parents. I left a spare key in Mom's kitchen drawer. I thought it meant trust. I didn't know it meant access. By the time I finished renovating, they were already planning my removal. I walked back downstairs, still holding my key like a mistake. The hallway smelled like old carpet and bleach. Someone's TV thumped behind a thin wall. I called Mom again. I needed to hear her correct herself. She didn't. "Honey, don't make this difficult," she said. "Emily is devastated. She needed a safe place tonight." "This is my home," I said. "My name is on the lease." Mom sighed like I was 12. "We still have your spare key. You gave it to us." Family helps family. The words were familiar. They always sounded warm. They always landed cold. I stood there with grocery bags cutting my fingers. I pictured my fresh paint, my new cabinet pulls, the little basil plant on the sill. "Did Emily change the locks?" I asked. "Yes," Mom said, too casual. "Your old lock was sticky anyway." I felt my face go numb. She had planned it. Not just the move, the replacement. "Come stay with us," Mom continued. "Your room is ready." My old room was Dad's office now. A desk, a printer, a door that never fully closed. I didn't say that. I didn't argue about love. I asked one practical question. "Did you tell the landlord?" I said. Mom laughed. "Why would we?" "It's a family thing." I ended the call. My phone buzzed again. Emily texted, "Stop being dramatic." Then, "Mom said you'd understand." Then, "You're selfish." I stared at the messages until my eyes burned. My building's lobby clock ticked too loud. I could hear my own breathing. I opened my purse. My lease folder was still there. My name. My unit number. My signature. Black ink that meant something. I walked 6 blocks to the police station. The wind smelled like rain and exhaust. My sneakers scuffed the sidewalk with every step. Inside, it smelled like burnt coffee and floor cleaner. A radio crackled behind the front desk. "I need to report a break-in," I said. My locks were changed. Officer Janet Reeves looked up. Her eyes were tired but steady. She asked for my ID and paperwork. I handed over my lease without shaking. She made calls. She typed. She didn't ask me to be flexible. She didn't say, "But she's your sister." She just said, "Okay. Let's handle it." For the first time that night, I exhaled. I realized my family didn't want my peace. They wanted my compliance. If this happened to you, what would you do next? Comment 1 if you'd step back, keep the peace, and handle it quietly. Comment 2 if you'd protect your home, document everything, and call for help. Less than an hour later, we were back at my building. Officer Janet Reeves walked beside me to my door. Reeves knocked once, firm and professional. I stood behind her, gripping my lease folder. The door opened. Emily stood there wearing my robe. My stomach dropped at the sight. Her eyes flicked to the badges. Then she stared at me. "Amanda, are you kidding?" she said. "Ma'am," Reeves said, calm. "Do you have legal permission to be here?" Emily lifted her chin. "My family helped me move in," she replied. "My sister understands." "I never said yes," I cut in. "I found out tonight." Reeves asked her to step aside. The door swung wider. My living room looked rearranged, like a stranger lived there. Boxes lined my hallway. Takeout containers sat on my counter. The air smelled like wine and cold grease. My refinished coffee table had a dark ring stain. A single careless circle, right in the center. I felt heat rise, then settle into focus. Emily followed my eyes and shrugged. "It's furniture," she said. "You're always so intense." Reeves looked at the new lock hardware. "This was changed," she said. "Who authorized the locksmith?" "My mom," Emily answered fast. "She had the spare key." Reeves turned to me. "Is your name the only one on the lease?" "Yes," I said, and handed it over. She read the page, then nodded once. "Ma'am," she told Emily, "you need to vacate." Emily laughed, sharp and disbelieving. "We're family," she said. "You can't kick me out." Reeves's tone didn't change. "This is an illegal eviction," she said. "Changing locks without consent is unlawful. You have no right to occupy this unit." Emily's face drained. She looked at me like I'd done the crime. "You're jealous," she hissed. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Mom's name lit the screen. I answered on speaker. "Amanda Rose Foster," Mom snapped. "The police called your father." "What have you done, Mom?" I said, steady. "Emily broke into my home. She changed my locks. She moved in without asking. She needed help," Mom insisted. "You're young. You can start over." "Then offer her your house," I said. "Not mine." Reeves's body camera beeped softly. She photographed the lock and the moved furniture. She asked if I wanted an incident report. "Yes," I said. "And I want to press charges." Emily's mouth opened, then closed. "You can't," she whispered. "Not to your own sister." I looked at my fresh paint and scraped knuckles. I felt the lease folder warm in my hands. "I'm not doing it to my sister," I said. "I'm doing it to an illegal eviction." That's when I realized boundaries are also locks. Emily packed like she was angry at the air. Clothes went into bags without folding. Zippers screamed. Officer Reeves stayed near the doorway. Her body camera blinked. She asked me to document damage. I started with my coffee table. The wine ring sat there like a bruise. Then the floor. Long scratches where furniture had been dragged. Then the bathroom mirror. A spiderweb crack near the corner. My hands stopped shaking once I had a checklist. Mom kept calling. I didn't answer. Dad texted once. "Stop this. You're humiliating your sister." I saved it with the timestamp. Emily tried one last speech at the door. "Mom and Dad will never forgive you." I didn't raise my voice. "I can forgive myself," I said. "That matters more." After she left, the hallway went quiet. Reeves handed me a card. "Incident report will be ready tomorrow." She looked me in the eye. "Change your locks tonight." A locksmith arrived within 20 minutes. His name was Roger. Gray mustache, steady hands, no curiosity. His drill whined. New keys clicked clean. "Family dispute?" he asked. "Something like that," I said. He nodded like he'd seen it all. "People think family means free access," he said. "Property too." That night, my phone lit up nonstop. Aunt Patricia called me selfish. A cousin texted prayer hands. Mom left a voicemail about forgiveness. I didn't delete it. I didn't reply. I made a folder on my laptop. Documentation, screenshots, photos, voicemails, dates. 3 days later, I met an attorney, Lawrence Meadows. Small office, stale coffee, thick files. He read the police report slowly. "This is straightforward," he said. "Illegal eviction. Breaking and entering. The lock change shows planning." He slid the paper back to me. "You're not overreacting. You're protecting your home." 2 weeks later, we were in court. Emily arrived with Mom and Dad. Mom wore her disappointed face. Dad avoided my eyes. Emily's lawyer called it a misunderstanding. Lawrence didn't argue. He showed my lease. He showed my phone records. No contact with Emily for 3 weeks. He called my landlord, one authorized tenant, me. The judge ruled fast. Repairs, locksmith, legal fees, and damages for illegal eviction. Over $80,000. In the hallway, Mom cornered me. "You ruined her life," she hissed. I kept my voice low. "She ruined my home," I said. "If a stranger did this, you'd call police." Mom said, "She's family." I answered, "Family should treat me better than strangers." Dad followed me to the elevator. He looked smaller than I remembered. "It's complicated," he murmured. I pressed the button. "It isn't," I said. "Rules either matter or they don't." They wanted me quiet again. I chose to be clear. 6 months later, my key still turned on the first try. That sound became my breathing exercise. I replaced the cracked mirror. I refinished the scratched floor. The coffee table wore a coaster-like armor. I installed a small camera above my door. Not for drama. For certainty. Some nights, I still checked the deadbolt twice. Then I stopped shaming myself for that. Trust doesn't regrow overnight. Mom sent one birthday card in September. No apology. Just a verse about forgiveness. I filed it in documentation. Emily blocked me everywhere. The silence was meant to punish me. It ended up protecting me. At work, Jennifer started packing extra snacks for me. She'd leave them in the break room fridge. "Eat," she'd say. No speeches. On Thanksgiving, I sat at her family's table. Turkey, cheap candles, laughter over bad jokes. No one asked me to shrink. Later, back home, I painted again. Watercolors on my kitchen table. I painted my hallway light and the new lock. It looked ordinary. It felt holy. Sometimes people still messaged me. "Be the bigger person. Let it go." I didn't argue. I just didn't open the door. I learned a clean truth. Love without respect is just access. And access is something you can revoke. My family never admitted what they did. They just stopped calling it a crime. That was their version of peace. Mine looked different. Mine was a quiet apartment I earned. Mine was keys I didn't loan out anymore. I didn't lose family. I lost my role as their spare key. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Echoes of Life is here for the ones rebuilding in silence. More stories are coming, where boundaries become freedom.